My name is Epworth, and this is my second floss tube. My channel is called Grandmommy Stitches, and I had said I'd be back in a couple of weeks. Well, this is probably well over a month now. I ended up being out of town for a couple of weeks. Just got back earlier this week, trying to get everything together. Was going to start a little earlier this morning, and you know how things just pop up that you didn't plan on doing. One is I'm a sourdough maker. I have sourdough bread that I make all the time. And while I was gone, I had stuck the sourdough starter and the discard in the freezer because I wasn't going to be here to feed them. And I used both. And I didn't have much of either one left because I made like 3 loaves of sourdough before I left and 2 batches of flour tortillas, which is what I use the discard for. Well, I didn't think much about it. Got them out, thawed them. Fed them yesterday morning, stuck them in the cabinet. Looked at them in the afternoon, nope, no change. It looks about the same, which is normal after I freeze them. I usually have to feed them twice before I start seeing any changes. I went and opened up the cabinet this morning and they both had just bubbled out all over the place. So I was just like, oh, well, let me get this cleaned up. Because if you don't know anything about sourdough starter, it dries like cement. You can't soak it off, you have to scrub it off. So fortunately I had a paper towel under it, so it did not stick to my inside of my cabinet. But the jars are now soaking because they dried a little bit on the outside, and I'll get to deal with those later. But y'all aren't here to talk about my sourdough. We're here to talk about my projects. I have done a few new starts, even though I think I said in my first one that try to work on my whips and not do anything. And I think I have 5 new starts. I stuck with it really well. So we'll just get started on my new starts. I have 1 finish. Well, you'll see when I get to it. And then just the whips I've been working on. Part of them were for the monthly magazine Facebook page. Some of those I did on those, so we'll just get started. All right, first, this one is called Joyful Stitches calendar. It's a really teeny tiny little picture. This is by the Snowflower Diaries. It is a free pattern. I believe if you join her Facebook, you can get the patterns. It uses mostly gentle arts. So I picked up some gentle arts, and I'm also using a few of my color and cottons because I didn't have a lot of the gentle arts to begin with. So I was going by the DMC equivalent, and they really didn't match the gentle arts at all. So once I was able to pick those up. So we'll see as I go what all my plans are color-wise. But I did get a start. I am doing this on, it's called Coral Canyon, 32 count linen by Color and Cotton. I'm not sure if there's one you can purchase. I got it as part of a monthly club. Probably, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago. But there is my start on the border in January. Yeah, it just popped up on my Facebook one day, and I thought, okay, I want to do that. So I got started on it because I thought it was really pretty. I guess according to her Facebook, she did a calendar maybe a couple of years ago, and so this one I think is a little different from the one she did a couple of years ago. Have a tote there. All right, the next one is called Holiday Seasons. It is by Birds of a Feather, and I've been working on, started the spring. I have, there, maybe not so bad. I have done the summer one, I did that last year, and here are the flosses. Most of it is, I think it's Weeks. Yeah, it's Weeks and DMC. And if you don't know, this is one of the patterns that Sherry from the Colorado Cross Stitch redid. She has the rights to put these out. There's my first one. Whoops, you can't see. I forgot to bring a board. There's the first one that I got completed. And I have a small start on spring. The fabric is 32 count, Havana by Weeks Dye Works. So I'm really enjoying doing that. Would like to get spring finished. Hopefully I can go ahead and pull summer off and maybe get it framed before summer gets here. Another new start, I joined, the Hands-On Design, her ornament. I joined her Patreon and she's doing Christmas ornaments. So this is the first one. Let me pull up the picture. Okay, maybe I didn't. Okay, I must not have pulled that one out. Give me a second here. I thought I had them all ready. Apparently not. Let's see, what can I talk about while I'm sitting here looking for this? I do stitch in hand. I started doing that about, I guess 8 months ago. I played with it some and went back and forth. And now I just stitch in hand almost 100% of the time. Okay, there we go. So it's called Sweets for Santa. And like I said, it's in her Patreon. You can still join. And I think it's going to be 12 ornaments throughout the year. Here's the flosses. I think it's all DMC. Supposed to be the same color palette for all of them. And I'm probably about 50% done with this one. And make sure I had it. Santa looks kind of funny, but get some more of that done. I think I can probably get it completed in maybe about 3 or 4 days. And today, I'll show that later, I got the finishing kit from Lindley Stitches. I'm sorry, probably mispronounced that. She has the finishing kit for all of the ornaments. All right, next is another bird of the feather that I started, and this one is on Cocoa by 36 count linen by Weeks. And I'm doing several of the little birthday cats. I'm starting off with the ones for excuse me, our immediate family. So my eldest daughter is a February baby. Here are the colors for February. It's mostly Weeks and some classic color works and DMC. Not too much of a goodness, a little start. And I do have the December on the other side. I can't decide if I'm going to add the name of the month below, so that's why I haven't cut this one off and done anything with it yet. I'm kind of playing with the idea of putting the months on there, because a couple of them I thought, once I'm not around, nobody's going to know what month the cat belongs to. So hopefully somebody will want to keep them. Okay, and another one I just started also is called, I'm sorry, let me get a drink. Poltergeist Pirates. I had seen this one, I think it's Stitching is Elementary. She was working on it. So it's not usually the type I go for, but I thought it was interesting and I liked, you know, the fabric and everything. This is by Glendon Place. I did take pictures or scan all of it, so it's now in my markup XP. It is pretty much, I think, all DMC, if I remember right. So I just left the colors. I didn't try to convert anything. I really like the color of the fabric. It's really a pretty fabric. Sorry, it does have a few hanging threads. I wasn't quite sure how to get this one started because I usually do a left corner start, but I started in the center so I'd make sure it was okay on the fabric because of the way the top is, and worked my way back up to the top. So it doesn't look like much of anything. This is around one of the skeleton heads, but got a good start on that. I got most of the stuff. I think there's a couple of the rainbow that are out of stock that I'll have to find for it. All right, those were, oh, and here's a couple more new starts. These I started for the monthly challenge magazine because I didn't have something really for the one of them. So there are two different ones in here. The first one I'm going to show you is called Zinnias, and it's, oops, I don't need that. Stitching with the Housewives. So here's a picture of it. I did a photo showing my new start of it for the challenge. And this is what I got to. Mostly the top row. The neighbor's dog is outside, so hopefully my dog won't notice she's out there. Some of the colors are on here. I actually have colors for both of the projects on here. And then the other one, I'll just go ahead and show real quick. Okay, this one is on chalkboard black, 14 count, Witchell with Classic Colorworks. Their typical way they do things. And the other one is called Miss Liberty. It is a Teresa Kogut pattern that was in the summer 2024 punch needle and primitive. So I got that started. I believe I did, I did a color conversion. Most of it is now color and cotton is what I pulled the DMCs and did color and cottons. Got a little start. Actually, that's quite a few stitches. I think it's close to 1,000 stitches. There are a lot of stitches in those rows of the flag. But I'm almost through. I think I have 2.5 or 2 3/4 rows of the red, and then I get to move on to something else. I am stitching Miss Liberty on oak 20 count Ada by Color and Cotton. So got those both started. And I think that's the end of my new starts. Everything else was a whip. Okay, let's start with this one. This one isn't one a lot of people are familiar with. It is Autumn by the Cross-Eyed Cricket. I started this one back, I believe. I didn't write it on there. I am stitching it on one more production, 32 count Lagana by Bee Stitch Me with DMC and Silken Colors. by Thread Gatherer. All the called for. Quite a few threads. Kind of a mess. But here they are. And I got a little bit done on this month, which I was really happy with. So got the A finished, the U. I'm almost finished with the T. So I'm really pleased with that. Because before I just had a little bit of the A and I had to decide I'd made a mistake in the A. So I finally figured out how to just work around it and not have to take all of that out because I really didn't want to. All right, next one is one of my Hawk Run hollows. This one is a year at Hawk Run Hollow. A lot of people are familiar with these. I'm excited about the fact that they will eventually be on PDF, hopefully before I get finished with them. But I scan each one as I'm working on it so I can get those into Markup XP, so it helps. This one I'm doing on 40 count, I believe it's doubloon, 36 linen by Picture This Plus, and I am, it says needlepoint, but these are Vicky Clayton silks. I'm using the Vicky Clayton silk conversion. Not much of a start. I just started this towards the end of last year, but I'm almost finished with block 1. This month, I know I did this whole tree, put in some more of the words, and I had the words in, the letters in on her skirt, but then I filled in all the skirt in the last couple of weeks. So that was a good amount done on that one. Okay, our next project is another one I have a picture for on my iPad. This was, I think it's on her Facebook. It's called, whoops, wrong one. There we go. Autumn Bingo. This came out, I believe it was last year. I didn't join till it was almost finished. And I started with actually block number 5 because it's the one that's up in the left-hand corner. I'm using most of the called for, well, I'll take that back. I am converting a lot of it to color and cotton. I think it's all in DMC. So I've converted it all to color and cotton. And the border, I took, I believe it's a Thread Gatherer. Yeah, Threadworks. Threadworks. It's a very variegated. Brenda from the Handiwork Maniac, she was doing this and she said she did this for the border because it was kind of, excuse me, fiddly. So I took her idea. I am doing this on Mocha. It's 36 count linen by Be Stitch Me. And as I said, I've converted most of the DMCs to color and cotton. So I have finished the first block, which is block number 5 actually, cut from the bingo game. But I got that one completed, so I'm ready to move on to, not sure what number the next one is, I'll have to figure it out. But I think it's really cute. You can find it on the website. If anybody wants to really know, I can give you the information. Okay, now next is another Hawk Run Hollow. And I have 2 in here because it's Halloween and autumn, and they share a lot of the same colors. So first, I'll show you the picture of autumn. There you go. go. Like I said, most people are familiar with all these. I'm doing it in the needlepoint silks. And there's, between the two of them, there are a lot of silks. That's a lot of silks. I think it is all the colors. If not, it's only missing one or two. But it is for 2 projects. Let's get ready to show you Halloween first. I have done most of the top border, except for some of the back stitching. I finished block 1, and I'm currently working on block 2. This is one of my first 40 counts, and this is 40 count vintage mocha from Zweigart. So in this house, a lot of it is double stranded because everything I do, I use 2 strands. So this 40 count has a lot of 2 strands on it. I wasn't about to go in and take it out when I realized. I just pulled out the thread, did what I normally was stitching. I thought, looks fine to me. It gives a little more texture. Not coming out. So you can do 2 strands on 40 count and not be too bad if you like the fullness. Okay, the next one is, of course, Halloween Hawk Run Hollow. Most people are very familiar with all of these. Same thread batch. I am doing this one on, I believe it's a 32 count. Yeah, 32 count. It's called J by Picture This Plus. And I got the idea for this color from the Virginia Stitcher. And I just really do like it on this color. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and I'm almost finished with 6, block 6. So that I can work into block 7. The middle block is 2 blocks. But really do enjoy this. I think it's really pretty. The block, of course, the ones with the water and the mermaids and all that, I would say that was probably at least 90% full coverage. Took a while to get that one done. I'm hoping to get this finished, maybe, probably not this year, but maybe by the end of next year. I really enjoy working on it. But we shall see. It's a lot of stitching. When you think about, oh, it's only what, 92 by 92? Well, it's 92 by 92, almost full coverage, so a lot of stitches. I need to get a bigger bag for, doesn't really want to hold everything. All right, next is my temperature chart that I'm doing. I'm way behind on this. I am doing it on 28 count Monaco, just plain white. I washed it, soaked it several times to soften it. And I've got doing all the DMCs. A little bit of the border. The border is a herringbone stitch. Here's it's by the Stitchy Mommy. This was the one she put out for $25. But I thought it was really neat because each month it's a different type of specialty stitch. So I just need to catch up. These are the colors I've pulled so far. I haven't put everything on a thread drop yet because I might not get to some of the colors. Probably won't get to many of the cold colors because our little bit of cold weather is just about over with. I'll get to use a bunch of the hot colors though. I was hoping for a few more cold colors so I'd have a little more variation in color. Doesn't look like it'll work out that way. Let me get a drink real quick. Okay, all right. We have Let Freedom Ring. It's a bag I made. I buy a few bags, I make a few bags. I have a lot that I just ordered from Amazon. Here is the threads. It's mostly DMC with Classic Colorworks and I think Gentle Arts. I don't think there's any Weeks. Yeah, no, it's, yeah, Gentle Arts. Maybe there's not any, yeah, there are some Classic Colorworks and DMC. Like I said, this is Freedom Ring by Lila Studios. I started this in November of 24. The fabric is Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit, 36 count. And I've gotten pretty far. I think I'm in the 70% range. I should have wrote that down, but let me use a bag as a backing. But is it, my bag's not as big as my project, but there we go. Trying to knock out some of the over one every time I pull it out, because I'm already going to have a lot of back stitching. I think I will start trying to do maybe a strand of back stitching, so at the end I don't have 2 months worth of back stitching to do. But I've enjoyed that. I'd like to have it finished by the 4th of July, but I'm not gonna force myself. Because if I do that, I won't work on it. And plus we'll probably be packing up our house to put it on the market, so not even sense rushing to get it finished, because I'm just gonna stick it in a box anyway. So, all right, looks like we are down to the last 3 projects. These are the other bags that I get from Amazon. I like them because they have a double zipper, so I can keep my threads in one zipper. And I can see through them. I like them better than the crinkly ones. All right, this project is Snowman Trio by Teresa Kogan. That's another one. I have a picture because it was out of the magazine. Well, you would think I'd have one. I have a before picture, but I'll have to show you another time because I don't typically print those out because I don't want to waste that much ink. But got quite a bit done on the little house. All that's, of course, you know, fill in. The threads, I believe this one was all DMC. It was out of a punch needle. Next time I can tell you which month. Cappuccino 36 count linen from Fiber on the Whim. So got a little more work done on that one. Next is another Teresa Kogan. I do believe, I won't swear to it. Yeah, I do have Folksy Thomas. I believe this came out last year. Whoops. Last year in her Patreon, but it is a pattern you can buy now. This one is mostly DMC and Weeks Dye Works. I am stitching it on Legacy 32 count linen by Picture This Plus. Here's, it's not a very large palette. And I'm sorry, mine are wrinkled. I might occasionally iron them, but I don't want to iron them that much. So I got quite a bit done on the turkey this month. Before that, I had the flower and that flower in, so mostly it was the turkey I worked on this month. And as I was saying about ironing, I probably won't. I have well over 100 whips, well over 100. So they would get ironed a whole lot because some of them I only stitch on maybe twice a year. This year I am going to try to touch everything. I know last year I did not. So this year I would like to try to touch everything. I did that in 24. I made sure by the end of the year, I think it ran into January for 2 or 3 projects, but at least everything got touched. I had less projects back then, so we'll see if it happens this year. I think what I'm going to try is the Stitching Mommy started back in January, starting with her A's and B's. So I think I will go through, get everything in order by A, B, C, and something I haven't currently, give it 2 days, move on to the next one. And by 2 days, I mean, I may work on it an hour, maybe an hour and a half for 2 days. I typically will work on at least 2 projects a day. Sometimes I'll do 3. Rarely I'll do 4 because I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm tired of that one already for whatever reason. So I move on to a 4th one. But that would be probably a day that I'm doing, I don't have anything I need to take care of or anything to do. So I literally have the entire day I can devote to stitching. So I might get 4 things done. All right. Now we're to the last project. This is a big one. It's one of my full coverages. I don't have many, but I do have a few full coverage projects. This one is called Uninvited Guest by Charting Creations is who did the chart. I think Jeff Tiff, yeah, is the artist. I had seen somebody who had posted pictures of this on Homespun Needleworks, and I just thought, that's so neat looking. So this is a fraction of the floss. Mostly these are the ones that I'm just currently using. I think it has like 99 or over that flosses in it. A little more about what I am stitching it on 20 count Vintage Country Mocha, and as I said, it's all DMC, and it's Aida, 20 count Aida. I am almost completely across the very top. I think I have about a page and a half left, and then it will be the full width. There are quite a few strings hanging because I am doing some parking. There are areas that's got a lot of confetti, or if I get down to the bottom of the page and I have a lot left, I just leave it down there. So when I come back, it'll be there. But here, hopefully that's not showing. Something just popped up. But I just think it's so neat how you really can see the clouds, and when the witch came in and the top and the trees. I think it doesn't show up as much on camera, but when you're looking at it, it really does. It looks like I use silver or something on the trees to help give it that look, and it's just plain old DMC. So it's just fascinating to me how well they can get the colors in floss to do that. So, all right, that is the end of my stitching for the last 2 to 3 weeks. But there are a few other projects, but I didn't collect them. They were already put back up in the totes. I think I'm going to go through and rearrange my totes, maybe by alphabetical. Right now I have them by categories, like I have Christmas and winter and fall and Halloween. The reason I picked those 2 out, the totes are overflowing. I can't even put everything in there. So I thought, well, maybe if I do alphabetical, I can just get them in all the totes, and I won't be going, what do I do with these extra 15 projects that won't fit in here, because I don't want to start a whole tote just for 15 projects. So I may try alphabetically. We'll see how that works. I originally had it done by designer, so we'll see. Okay, next I will show you a little bit. about my purchases. Some of them. This is, as I was telling you, the little pack that goes with the hands-on design, and you can get all the little boards pre-cut ready. And then these will be the finishing, because Kathy is going to do a little finishing tutorials on her Patreon for each one, so that'll be fun. So I'm almost finished, so when she puts up the first one, I can do that. And when I ordered that, I also went ahead and picked up Heart and Hand, the Nativity, and then the Cardinal, which I cut the plastic, opening the bag. The Cardinal by Cottage Garden Sapling. And then in here, I think, oh, sorry, there's just a couple of flosses, which I have no idea now why I wanted those, and I know this goes with probably my Halloween, the needlepoint silks, but I don't remember what the class at work floss was for. I tell myself I'm gonna write it down when I order it, so when it comes in, I will know what it goes to. I still need to do that because I will get in a whole order and go, oh yeah, look at all this. I haven't a clue why I ordered it or where it goes. You'd think you would remember. It's, you know, it was like the week before, but I don't remember. I am, sorry, getting over, getting a few things. All right, I am a member of the Color and Cotton Fabric. I'm doing the Soft Neutral Club. Open this so you can see it a little better. This is really a pretty color. It's called Chiffon. I'm doing the 32 count Lagana now. In the past, I've done the 32 count linen. I did the 36 count linen with Be Stitch Me. I did 20 count Ada for a while with Color and Cotton and Be Stitch Me. So now I'm building up my Lagana because I've done a few projects and I thought I really do like stitching on that. So that was my Color and Cotton. I also am in the Vicki Clayton Silks of the Month. I do both. I do the solids and the variegated, so I can build that stash up. This was the zinnias, the last one, I believe, from Fat Quarter Shop. So that was my last flower. And these other ones, they're, if you live in the Plano, Dallas area, there's a shop called Hoops and Needles in Plano that has a little bit of a stitching, cross-stitching supply. It's a quilting, embroidery machine store and some cross-stitch. They really have a decent assortment of different fabrics. They have everything from, you know, your 14 count, I think they're up to a few 56 counts. They do fat quarters, fat halves. So I picked up a few. Like this is Sajoi, S-A-J-O-Y. I never even heard of that company, but I got one from them, a Fox and Rabbit, Zweigart, and then this pretty red from Lap and Loops. So like I said, they really have a neat collection of different dyers. And while I was there, I picked up all the general arts that I didn't have that go to the Joyful Calendar by the Snow Diaries. So that way, I may still try to convert most of them to my Color and Cotton because I was in that club from almost the beginning until she stopped it. So I have a lot of threads. So I'm trying to use some of them, and the ones I really like, I'd go and see if I can reorder them. And then the other thing, also, I don't know if this is our last month or if we're getting more, but I was in the little needle minder club through the Fat Quarter Shop. from Flamingo Toes. There's the little picture of the pattern and the flosses. I've done a couple of them. I haven't finished any of them. I thought, well, they'd be cute on front of a project bag or something like that. And I won't go through everything in this, but I did order the Hands Across the Sea creatures, great and small. So that came in while I was out of town. Lots of pretty little, a lot of these seem to have birds or dogs or cats on them, which is really neat. So I can't wait to start some of these. Like I said, I hate to show really too many of them because I don't think any of these will ever be sold. They were just part of the box, so unless you get somebody to give it to you from their box, I don't think you can ever get them. It did come with the cute little pouch. I got glass case. Have a little fabric. I guess I may try to make just some little needle books out of these. Cute little prints. And then some bling. Got a needle minder. And then, kind of hard to see. Pretty little butterfly. Yeah, and this other one you really can't see. Maybe next time I'll remember to take them out. I just don't want to, it's the type of plastic that really crinkles a lot. All right, I do believe I got everything out that I was going to talk about today. I do plan on trying to come back maybe in a couple of weeks. That way my floss tubes aren't too long since I do so many different projects. That way I don't have an hour-long one. Maybe I can keep them 30 minutes and under. I do want to say thank you for watching. I hope you like what you see. Please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Comments help so it'll get out there and maybe more people can find my channel. I really do enjoy cross stitch. It's kind of the hobby that's taken over everything else. Yeah, I've got to force myself to do some of my other hobbies now because I'm like, I just want to cross stitch. So I really do enjoy it. I would love to be able to converse with people who cross stitch and who are as passionate about it as I am. I don't currently know anybody who does cross stitch. None of my friends or family. My daughter did it for about 3 months, 4 months, but life got busy and she just doesn't have time to deal with any cross stitch. And I hope to continue to be able to do as much as I am. As I mentioned, we'll start packing. I have been doing a little bit here and there, throwing things into boxes. It's going to be very time consuming. I've done a lot of the stuff in the kitchen. I'm one of those people that's inherited things over the years. So I've already boxed up like 4 sets of china, and I'm talking full sets of china. Those are already boxed up. So things like that, I'm trying to box up, especially things I know we're not going to use, and just keep dwindling it down to the last minute things because we need to box everything up, have the house painted inside and touch up outside because we have some different colors. As you can see, the wall is blue and the realtor's like, you really need to make it neutral. And I don't know if I will, but we'll see. I had my kitchen redone. It's in a blue and a kind of a latte color. I probably will not repaint that because I'm like, no, it's pretty. I'm gonna leave it like it is. You know, I finally get my blue kitchen and I'm not gonna paint over it. But, sorry, eyes are watering from the cedar pollen and oak pollen apparently at the moment. But thank you again for coming. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it and I look forward to talking to y'all again. Happy stitching. Bye-bye.